Hello and welcome to Money Talks. July is the month that we celebrate our country's independence, and it's a time to say thank you to the men and women who sacrificed for our freedom. Many of their stories can be told by visiting the National World War II Museum here in New Orleans. The museum has a huge economic impact on the city and the region. It has a reputation for being the #1 place to learn U.S. military history. The museum's incredibly engaging exhibits and interactive experiences has brought it to the forefront as one of the top tourist attractions in New Orleans, hosting in the neighborhood of nearly 500,000 visitors a year. The National World War II Museum features a rich collection of artifacts that bring history to life. We thought we'd share with you the story of a veteran who experienced Pearl Harbor. Here's his story.
We were yelling on the bow of the ship about doing something on Ford Island there, so I go up and check it out, and sure enough, when the planes peeled away and I could see the big red Japanese insignia, and I knew it was the Japanese right away, and they were bombing Ford Island. So I started for my battle station, and we started firing at them. At that time, the whole world thought the battleship was the extreme weapon on the high seas. Well, no, it is not. It's the aircraft carriers and the aircraft. I could see the torpedo planes coming in and the torpedoes in the water. I could see the Pennsylvania over here in dry dock, and the West Virginia and the Tennessee and ahead of us, and the Nevada behind. Just everybody was getting hit, but the dive bombers and the strafers and the high altitude bombers is what was hurting us. We had to train our guns up 90 degrees to try to hit the high altitude bombers. And the Arizona caught this hit, and it blew up, and it shook the ship, and it blew 110 foot of the bow of the ship off.
And we'd like to thank the museum's CEO, Dr. Gordon Nick Mueller, for his graciousness and for his hard work bringing our national history to life for visitors and for us here at home. We'll have more Money Talks after this, so stay with us.
Weeknights at midnight on LAE.
Well, welcome back to Money Talks. I'm your host, Ed Marshall. I'm sure most of you travel the I-10 in and out of New Orleans, and if you do, to your left, right before you get into the city, there are some new buildings going up there, and that of course, is the new Orleans Parish Jail. But I'm going to have the man that knows all about that talk to you. I've been wanting to get him on my show for some time, and I finally have him. Sheriff Marlon Guzman, it's good to see you.
Thanks a lot, Ed. Thanks for having me.
You and I work on a lot of projects together, and of course, want to talk to you about the new jail because that's what's been the buzz. People are talking, when is it going to open, and all of this. Give us some background on the jail. When did you all start on it, and some of the things we could expect?
Well, before Katrina, there were 13 different jail facilities. Some of them had been basically other buildings that were converted to jails. Several along the interstate were actually built as jails. Just about all of those were destroyed. And one thing that FEMA did was gave us an opportunity to rebuild better, smarter, and in a more condensed footprint. So FEMA will let you replace subject to current codes and standards. And we really took that and took it to a different level. So one of the big things about the new building is that we employ direct supervision. And direct supervision means that the deputy is not outside looking in, but is actually inside of the housing unit. It's safer for the deputies, safer for the inmates, and ultimately you get a better outcome because we can do more programming, we can do more interaction with the people that are in our custody and get a better result.
Yeah. And, one thing I want to talk to you about is that, most sheriffs or most departments are accused of warehousing people, it's a head count. But that's not what you want to, warehousing people is not your thing. You want people to be, in for what they need to be in for, go to court, and people need to be rehabilitated.
Well, it's real simple. If you look at it this way, if you look at it and you say that ultimately you want people to come out better than when they went in. Because if they come out worse or the same as when they went in, then the chances are that they'll come right back to you. And that means that public safety suffers. So if we can improve people, do anger management, do counseling, do thinking for change, and perhaps give them some skills while they're there, then when they come out, they'll be better able to contribute to society. Our reentry program, which I know you're familiar with, we're now in class 48. So we've had 48 different classes that have come through, over 2,000 individuals that before this would basically be given a see you later, hope we don't see you later, and just walked out.
Right.
So this way, we give them a chance to bond with their families. We give them a chance to learn what perhaps was causing their anger, how they can deal with their anger better, how they can deal with money matters, and how they can get access to housing, how they can get access to other social services that ultimately will help them become better.
What do you say to critics who say, well, all of them just go to jail because they did this bad thing or whatever, and whatever happens to them happens to them?
Well, what I'll say to them is that most of the people that get arrested and go to jail come back out. So we tend to focus on the people who go to jail for really bad things, and they're going to go to jail. They won't come back out. They'll go to jail, then they'll go to prison. But most of the people that get arrested come back out. You know, we all make mistakes, and those that get caught, when they come back out, we want them to be better. We want them to have a better opportunity to be a better father, a better brother, a better sister, a better community member, a better neighbor, and that's really been our goal.
And your facility now, when does it look like it's going to open? Because people have been saying, when is it going to open? When is this thing going to happen?
Well, I tell you, it's sort of like watching paint dry, but it's a very complex facility. We have over 850 cameras in the facility, and every door, of course, has to be opened electronically, as well as by keys. There are a lot of security devices within the housing units themselves, but all of that to say that we're looking at sometime in the middle of August. I think they've been able to work out all of the little bugs and do all of the fixes in there. So middle of August, we should be moving in our first group.
You've got 1,438 bed prison, so it's a large facility. And I'm not in with this, and I know this is not related to us, but our area. But the two men upstate who were finally caught from burrowing and getting out. Our facility is made to such a way where hopefully we don't have these kind of things where they it was kind of a strange thing that these people were able to do that, and a lot of it they said was because of the inmates who were allowed to be what do you call them? They have these privileges. Trustees.
Well, there's no such thing as a trustee.
Right. So how do you handle that?
Well, look. One of the real challenges that they had in that facility in New York, same challenges we had here, old buildings. So with old buildings, they have these designs where you can get into these concealed spots and not be seen. Our facility was made with prefabricated concrete cells. So these cells were prefabricated, they were put in place almost like a puzzle. And we don't have those crawl spaces. Gotcha. We don't have those spots where they can get out. Our spot for plumbing is about that big, so they won't be crawling through that.
All right, Sheriff, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Ed.
Always
Appreciate
a pleasure.
It.
Okay, we've got the latest information from Sheriff Marlon Guzman, and we'll be back with more news. So stay with us.
Fridays at 7 p.m. on LAE.
Continuing on the subject of crime now and crime prevention, we have with us our every month person who's always doing a great job, and that's Darlene Costanza with Crime Stoppers. So good to have you back.
Thank you, Ed.
And of course, we've had some sad news. We've had 2 officers that were killed in the last days. Tell us about what's going on.
Well, and it's really truly heart-wrenching. You had Officer James Bennett, who was a Hano police officer, who was actually killed doing a detail protecting a property area off of Ferret, Nerado. And that case still remains open. Crime Stoppers has a $10,000 reward. We've gotten information, but we certainly need anything else that community could let us know about. And then, of course, more recently, Officer Darrell Holloway with the NOPD lost his life transporting a suspect. So the important message here is the fact that the community does step up, particularly in these horrendous opportunities when people take advantage of our community servants like this. We need to let them know that we appreciate them coming forward and that Crime Stoppers is critical to that process of gathering that intelligence for law enforcement to make arrests.
And totally anonymous.
Totally anonymous, and in both cases we take it very seriously. If you're going to take the life of a police officer, immediately there's a larger reward, there's a $10,000 reward, and you know, we'd hate to think the money is the reason for someone to call, but the most important thing is finding justice.
Finding that person. And of course, you know, it takes money, you know, to operate places like Crime Stoppers. There's a big fundraiser that you have each year.
Yes.
Tell us about that. That's coming up.
On September 9th at House of Blues, the New Orleans musicians, which are so wonderful to our community, all give back and they volunteer their talent to our blues night. And that's in the evening. It's a Wednesday night this year, September 9th. And people can sign up to attend. The tickets, the general admit tickets, which gives you a lineup of unbelievable talent, go for $175. And then, of course, there's sponsored VIP tickets available. But the most important thing is these guys and ladies are giving their talent to us, and we want to just show our appreciation by hopefully having a full house. We sold out last year. We hope to sell out again this year.
Well, I certainly hope so, too, because that money is worthwhile toward getting people that are criminals off the street. Yes. And, of course, if people want more information, they can always go to the Crime Stoppers website.
They sure can.
All righty. Darlene, as always, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more news, so stay right here.
Wednesdays at 11 p.m. on LAE.
Well, the much anticipated opening of the new $1.1 billion University Medical Center is coming to fruition. The state-of-the-art facility is located in what's known as the Medical Corridor, a 34-acre site near downtown New Orleans, bound by Canal Street, South Galvez, Tulane Avenue, and South Claiborne Avenue. We went on a special pre-opening tour of the 2.3 million square foot medical center, which is being readied for next month's grand opening. The hospital is a big employer for our area. It will be staffed by 2,000 full-time employees, including 600 physicians. The major teaching hospital features 19 operating rooms with the latest video integration and 446 inpatient beds and 60 beds for behavioral health patients. Large private inpatient rooms can accommodate rooming in family members. The new hospital is the only American College of Surgeons verified level 1 trauma center in South Louisiana. Other signature services include a primary stroke center and advanced cancer care. Turning to more news, they say good things often come out of bad situations. That is certainly the case in the area of recreation in New Orleans. Many facilities were heavily damaged after Hurricane Katrina almost 10 years ago, but that's in the past. We talked with the chairman of the NORD, better known as New Orleans Recreation Department, Mr. Roy Glapion, about new facilities like the Sanchez Center in the 9th Ward, which has opened up a whole new world for the community there.
Well, Ed, one thing that we found out when we tried to go through the process of revitalizing recreation in New Orleans was that a viable recreation program reduces crime in an urban community. So when you move down the process of saying, okay, we need to incarcerate people, well, that's true. Everyone wants to be safe. But you have to go to the crux of the problem, which is kids You know, we need to teach kids how to be viable citizens. And recreation is a piece. You learn how to win, you learn how to lose, you learn how to play together, and you learn nonviolent conflict resolution. And it gives you an opportunity to move away maybe from a household that might be slightly dysfunctional. And it gives you another outlet, another opportunity. So that would work and has worked in just about every city where there is a viable recreation program. Orleans did not have that. New Orleans did not have that. So we have that now. We've seen a bit of a reduction in crime, but more so with the facilities, including AP Sanchez and several others, we're reducing blight. Because a lot of the facilities, because of Hurricane Katrina, they were literally blighted pieces of property. So we're reducing blight. Then it's quality of life. The quality of life for the citizens in the lower 9, in Treme, in eastern New Orleans with Joe W. Brown. They have a facility that they can come to, congregate, converse with their elders and vice versa, and learn each other, learn the people in their community. So it's a whole community piece. It's not just recreation. I mean, that's the way it was back in the day, right? We all knew each other. We all talked. You know, we had a certain level of trust with each other. And times are different now, so it's hard to interact with each other. So having a community center, viable recreation programs, movies in the park, and all the other different programs that we have allows us to get to know each other. And the key is to increase the quality of life of all of the citizens in the city of New Orleans. And we've done, I think, a fantastic job of doing that for the lower 9. And it's important. The lower 9 is important, no question about it. Who's our future? It's not us. I mean, we're grown up. We're grown up. We're gonna do what we do, and we do what we do. But the kids, and we all have our stories when we were little kids and what coach or teacher touched our lives or changed us or moved us in a certain direction. Well, we're the stewards now. We're the ones that need to do that. And so if you can touch the kids through recreation, and I have an opportunity to do that, I'm gonna do that. This is the best piece because you can hit the kids immediately, right? They can come in, I can walk through this facility and I can see people, you know, enjoying this. I can go to Stallings, I can see people swimming. You know, I can see it, I can touch it, and I can see the smiles on their faces. And if you see that and you feel that energy, you know you're making a difference. And what's gonna happen when they grow up? I was swimming in Stallings. I learned how to swim at Stallings. The same thing I'm saying, you know? So you can't beat that. You can't beat that. I mean, I'm not trying to get paid. I don't need to get paid. My payment is seeing the smiles on the people in the community and the children. That's my benefit.
And it is a great facility. Roy, thank you very much. It's time now for our segment where residents ask community leader Ashton J. Ryan Jr. about things that are on their minds. Our question this month comes from Elaine Simmons from Chalmette, who asked Ashton what's called the Community Reinvestment Act. She wants to know more about it. It's better known as CRA. She wants to know, is it still viable as a barometer for institutions, financial institutions, to invest in communities where they do business? This is what Ashton had to say.
Community Reinvestment Act, referred to as CRA, you may not hear as much about it because it's been in place for 30 years now, but you will find out if you're a banker that it is still a major part of what we as banks are expected to do. All of us are expected to play a role in our community and contribute to rebuilding and reinvestment in our community. There are a lot of different tests. There's a large bank approach to community investment. There's also a small bank approach. The large bank is primarily focused on investment that the large banks make all over the United States and helping with affordable housing, helping with job promotion, helping with training for attaining new jobs, doing all kind of activities that support the community and help it grow. And then secondly, in the small bank world, they look at our involvement in nonprofits, assisting nonprofits with their activities. They also look at where we invest our money and helping with low to moderate process, but they also look at service levels that are done for individual nonprofits. So it's a very key part, and every bank is rated, and the rating is public. And oftentimes that rating is used by the regulatory agencies to decide on acquisitions, on new branches, or on other types of expansion banks do. So it's a very critical aspect of the banking world is the Community Reinvestment Act activities.
And there you have it. If you'd like to ask Ashton a question, get in touch with us on Facebook at Money Talks with Ed Marshall. And this show can also be viewed on Facebook. Talk about technology. We'll be right back.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Well, they say if you build it, they will come, and come they did to the grand facility now on Airline Highway. It's the Jefferson Performing Arts Center that's open now, but I'm going to have the maestro that's sitting over here, Maestro Dennis Asaf, to tell us more about it. That had to be a great day for you.
Always a pleasure, Ed, to be with you again. Yes, last Friday, a great day, a great opening for not only the residents of Jefferson Parish, but the entire metro area. A dream come true, a day that I've fantasized for 37 years, since 1978, when Hannah Cunningham and I started the Jefferson Performing Arts Society with the mission to build a performing arts center for Jefferson Parish. And praise the Lord, it's here.
It went through a lot of turns and turns or whatever, but you know, all the politicians were there, and everybody got it together, and we got it done.
Well, we've enjoyed great political support these many years, not only from local Jefferson Parish officials, but the state as well. Senator John Ilario, Senator John Hankel, and especially Senator Ken Hollis, who once he got on board, man, he fought the fight for so many years.
Well, I can tell you, the parish president was beaming.
And I thank President Young for his leadership in taking over this difficult task. It's been a difficult journey, but I know that once the residents get inside the theater and experience the beauty and the intimacy between the audience and the stage, they're going to say, why didn't we build this 37 years ago? I'm confident of that.
And very quickly, what does it mean to this area to have that facility in 30 seconds?
Well, you know, a lot of people, when they look at a theater, they just think of entertainment. But I learned a long time ago to discuss the economic impact of the arts. The arts are good business. They're good for business, and they're good business, and we generate income. We're going to continue the redevelopment of Airline Drive. You're going to start seeing more restaurants pop up. I hope one day they're going to build a hotel nearby. Super. So in addition to offering opportunities for young people and adults to get on that beautiful stage, we're going to see economic impact.
Okay, and of course people can go to the website and find out the wonderful plays and all the other artistic music. I'm getting lost in words. Musicals, operas, or whatever. You can find all that on the website for Jefferson Performing Arts Center. So we thank you so much for being with us.
God bless you. Thank you, sir.
God bless you, and we'll be back with more after this. So stay with us.
A new team, new editorial resources.
The same objective analysis of the top business news of the day.
Every weeknight, complete market coverage.
With the business and economic stories that are crucial to you.
Nightly business report.
Weeknights at 5:30 p.m. on WLAE.
And we're back with more Monday Talks. I'm your host, Ed Marshall. You know, we are always happy to have young people added to the show. And of course, this young lady has been on the show many times. She's done some modeling and she's done some street reporting. But now we're going to call her our common sense reporter, and that's Shannon Ryan. She's in college and she'll be spending a day a month with us talking about things that you might need to know, that some tips for your home, whether it's your garden or your house or whatever. And Shannon, it's good to have you back.
Thank you so much, Ed. So many residents are concerned about their landscape this time of year. With too much rain and then dry spells, especially with shrubs in their garden, here's Melinda Meyer with more.
You lay out your garden bed and head to the garden center to buy plants. Those small shrubs seem lost in that big space. Fight the temptation to plant them closer together than the tag recommends. These small plants will quickly grow to full size. If overcrowded, you'll need to remove the extra plants, something most gardeners are reluctant to do. And by the time you do, all the shrubs may have lost their beauty. Use a tape to measure and plant your shrubs at the recommended spacing. Carefully remove the plant from the pot, loosen any girdling roots, and place in a hole the same depth as the root ball and 2 or more times the diameter wide. Fill the space between young shrubs with annual and perennial flowers. The flowers will quickly fill in the gaps between your properly spaced shrubs. As the shrubs grow, fewer annuals are planted and the ornamental grasses and perennials can be divided or moved to a new location. I'm Melinda Myers. Check out our website for this and other gardening tips.
And Ed, that's my common sense report for this month.
Very good. Thank you so much. We'll be back with more news after this. We're almost out of time. As we leave you, we pay homage to a number of Sisters of the Holy Family who were honored at a special Jubilee Mass at St. Maria Goretti Catholic Church. We say thank you to the sisters, particularly Mother Superior, Sister Greta, and my own aunt, Sister Innocente Wiltz, who celebrated 70 years of service. All of them so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people, and we say thank you. We're out of time. We hope you enjoyed Money Talks. Until next month, take care of yourself, and we'll see you.